Hey everybody, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and today I'm back with another really fun story that I found on Reddit. I will include the link below the video, and this one is called How a Fight on Reddit's Neville Goddard Led Me to My Soulmate and Now Fiance. So I hope you're intrigued, because I was definitely intrigued when I read this, and I will include some commentary after the story so we can discuss what we learned from this story and how we can use this in our own manifesting practice. In the early phase of 2020, I suffered a complete mental breakdown. One day, in the depths of this horrible psychotic episode, I wrote a list of the qualities that no man should be able to fulfill. It was deliberately unrealistic, a fantasy. I'd sworn off men for good, so what did it matter anyway? If I was gonna be with anyone, he would have to meet this insane list. He didn't exist, and so I was safe. Even if he did exist, why would he want me? On the 20th of October 2020, I found a post on here that I didn't like. Being in the worst mood possible at the time, I went on the defensive in the comments section. I called him a plagiarist. When I was rightly downvoted, I called him smug, and he was, lol. We had a back and forth in the comment section that was not that friendly. On the 22nd of October 2020, I realized that I shouldn't have said what I said, and I apologized to the complete stranger via DM. That was the plan, apologize and move on. Now, October 5th, 2021, I am engaged to that random smug and infuriating Neville Goddard Reddit user, and I couldn't love him more. Also, he met every single quality I had written down. Every single one. There is no fiction. Edit. Thank you for your congratulations and support. It's not a conventional love story, and there has been some eyebrows raised in our personal lives, although thankfully few and far in between. Fortunately, both our families approve. You guys are being awesome in the comments, so thank you for that. You guys, how awesome is this story? And how random, hashtag not random. I just absolutely love that it was so unpredictable. It was just one of those things. Okay, this is what I mean by inspired action, by the way. And the funny thing is, in this case, this inspired action was actually inspired by something negative. Because usually when we think inspired action, it has to be something positive, something like positive energy, and can't possibly be something negative and mean or whatever. But in this case, she felt compelled to make a negative comment to someone. And that's exactly what actually brought her to her fiancé, whose qualities reflect everything that she has on her impossible list of qualities for a man. See, this is where manifesting and having a predetermined destiny or a life blueprint, this is where I'm still pondering about it, because was this always meant to be? Because it's not like one of those manifestations where she deliberately was like, okay, I'm gonna manifest this man, blah, 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 do everything step by step. The only thing she did was write down the qualities, literally, that's it. And she forgot about it, because she realized, okay, there's no point to hold on to this because this is impossible for anyone to fulfill, so whatever, screw it. So it almost feels like this manifested against her own will or something, you know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? So I guess with this story, I want you guys to realize two things. One, scripting or writing things down, even if it's just a list of the qualities or whatever the heck, that can be super powerful in your practice. And so is letting go. Because I've come across a lot of people who say you don't have to let it go. Some people say you do have to let it go. It's kind of, the jury's still out on this one. But most people, I do find that most people say that you do have to let it go, which is not always easy, unless you do something like this, where you're like, okay, well, this is never going to happen, so I might as well let it go, right? And the number two thing is that, honestly, I don't know, maybe hardcore Neville Goddard and Law of Assumption fans are not going to like hearing this, but that's just my opinion, okay? I really think that manifesting is more complex than we realize. Not more complicated necessarily, but more complex in the sense that I do believe that we have certain things set up in our lives that are meant to happen. And this honestly felt like one of those things. Okay, so you could argue it either way. You could be like, nope, she manifested it, she wrote it down, and that's her manifestation. Or you could say, what if this is her soul blueprint, her life blueprint that she had, and she was always meant to meet this dude, right? And this was designed by her soul before she came into this incarnation. So I tend to believe that it's usually a combination of those things. It's not one or the other most of the time, but that's just me. I don't know, you guys, I would love to hear your comments, like if you think that this whole like life blueprint stuff is total nonsense or manifestation is total nonsense, you're totally welcome to comment below, and it's still always good to share your opinions, even if it's for others to see or for you to become more clear about what you believe. I mean, I just ask for it not to be offensive, preferably, that would be nice. But other than that, you're always welcome to share anything in the comments. And if you've been listening to my videos on this channel, you know that I'm really into near-death experience stories, because I feel like that's the only way we can ever, like, this is the closest that we can get to understanding the other quote-unquote side. And that theme of having a soul blueprint is such a huge part of that. So I can't just disregard it and say like it doesn't exist, because I really think that it does. Like, there are certain things that we were always meant to experience. Now, where manifesting comes in is probably like, what are you gonna do with those things? You know what I mean? So for example, she could have just left that first comment, you know, the mean comment, and like forget about it, you know? And she could have just said to herself, you know what, I don't care, like this is some stranger, like I don't have to apologize, screw that, like whatever, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Or like she would get busy and start thinking about some other things and it just wouldn't even come to her mind, in which case this story would never even happen. Like, they would never continue talking, they would never meet up, they would never get engaged. You know what I mean? But something in her propelled her to apologize. And one thing led to the other, and here they are. So, I don't know, like, tell me what you think, because I feel like it's a little bit of both. You know, manifesting somehow comes hand in hand with our blueprint for this life as a soul. And it's really frustrating not knowing 100% how it works, but at the same time, it's also what keeps it interesting. So either way, I think that this story is totally awesome. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you have any fun stories that are related to manifesting or even near-death experiences, I would love to hear them as well. Especially those stories with near-death experiences that do have to do something with manifesting, which is kind of like a shot in the dark. But it's just really interesting to hear those stories, and they're usually so darn inspiring. I just want us all to believe, you know, because you can always choose not to believe, but then I just feel like it takes a lot of fun out of life and makes things a lot less interesting. So that's just me. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, and have an amazing rest of your day or night. And I'll be back with some more fun stories for you soon. Bye.